Hey, welcome to Module 2 Community Mapping. This is the deep dive on Phase 1, finding where your audience actually is. Okay, so this is where most people go wrong. Before they even start, they'll find obvious places and wonder why it doesn't work. So by the end of this module, you'll have a systematic approach to finding the right communities, the ones where you can actually get traction. Okay, so let me explain the most important concept in community mapping. It's adjacent communities. Most people type their product into Reddit, search, find 3 to 4 obvious subreddits, and call it done. You know, again, it's that fishing analogy. It's like going into the most crowded spot on the lake where everyone is. The fish already know half the lures that are there. The competition is absolutely brutal, right? Adjacent communities are different. They're places where your topic comes up naturally, but you're not competing with every direct competitor. They're all in project management subreddit. Obvious communities are very high competition and have strict moderator rules. Obviously, the audiences are more not just saturated, but more aware of all the tools being pushed in these subreddits, right? Everyone's pitching. The adjacent communities, much lower competition, way more receptive to people who are going to be fixing a problem they genuinely have, right? So if your topic fits naturally, you help, you don't pitch. And this is where the real opportunities are. So let's make this concrete with an example, right? Say you have a project management tool. Okay, now the obvious move is go to project management. But the reality is it's crowded with competitors. Competition is rife. Strict rules. The audience has seen 100 tools or more. And the mods remove marketing stuff fast, even if some of the most well-crafted tool posts will get removed if they smell any inkling of promotion. It's an uphill battle, and it's sometimes not worth fighting. Definitely not in the beginning, right? You don't have the authority or the ability to do that yet. Now, what you need to do is think about who actually needs project management help. So we mentioned startups, rather, who are founders, who might have team coordination problems. Um, Subreddits like remote work, where you have outsourcers, people struggling um, to sync their collaboration workflows. Again, ADHD, very wide, broad, but folks there are looking for organization systems. They're not waiting for someone to pitch them. They're looking for things that are going to really help a problem that they have. And then another good example would be freelance, right? Where you've got solopreneurs who are juggling multiple clients. So you've got these communities, for example, where your topic is going to come up naturally. And the difference is you're not competing with every other project management tool. So the key question to ask yourself is who needs what your product does, but isn't actively looking for your product category, right? So where do you find these people where they're not looking for your product, but have this problem? And that's in the adjacent communities. That's where you find them. Okay, so when you find a community, don't just bookmark it, map it out, right? You've got criterias that you have to record. Do it manually first and get AI to do it. Or just get AI to do it, but make sure you're going through each of them when you're getting AI to give it the subreddit, tell it to get you the community size, how many members. Um, the size isn't always better, right? A 50K sub with high engagement will obviously beat a 500K sub where your posts are going to get buried. Okay, so you need to know the community size. That's number one. The second thing are the posting rules. Read the sidebar, read the wikis. Some sub have self-promotion days. Some are completely against it. Some allow it, right? Some even ban you for just sharing a link. Okay, so before you post, know this. Again, you can get AI to do this and research for you. The third thing is the content type. So have it research the content types. Again, you need to do it manually first so that you see what's happening. But get the AI to go ahead and sort the top posts, see what formats are winning in these subreddits. Is it text posts only, or are they links? Are they long detailed guides? Are they quick little posts, right? Are they personal stories, how-to guides? They vary from subreddit to subreddit wildly, as you can imagine. The fourth thing is the mod strictness, right? So you're going to want to have a list of where you can go and start posting first, where the mods allow posts, where the mods you don't need like over 50 or 100 or 200, 300 karma to post. So you want it to ordered in mod strictness. Some are completely hands off; they don't care. Others just remove anything that they think is going to have any kind of inkling of marketing. Right? So you can also look at the removed posts. I believe you can look at the remove. You can see the titles, but you can't actually see the removed posts. So you can get a gist of how many there are, and look at the mod comments. That will give you an overall idea of how strict the mods are. And again, you can get AI to ask AI to do this for you. And then the fifth one is your topic. How often is it coming up? Right? So naturally, how often is it coming up? So the one that I like is Chrome extensions. And when people are looking for how do I promote my extension, boom, I'm in there with Network Nexa. Right? So, if people are already asking questions you can answer, that's a green light. That's where you want to. That's where you want to be. You want to be answering those questions, and you want to have that mapped out for you. Okay, so the process for finding adjacent communities. Start with your customer, okay, not your product. Your customer, right? What else do they care about? What problems do they have that aren't directly related to your solution? So you want to be searching for problems. Search Reddit for problems your product solves, right? See what subreddits come up, follow the conversations. Use Reddit suggestions, right? So when you're in one subreddit, Reddit is going to suggest related subreddits in the sidebar. Go down those rabbit holes. Okay, make sure to log them so that you can come back and engage. Right? Check out the competitor activity. If you're a brand or a product, anyway, you should be checking out the competitor activity if you're an affiliate as well. Right? Look where your competitors are active. That's the key here. So you want to check out the post history, look what's getting traction. Ask directly in relevant communities. Ask where else do people discuss this. You want to find out. You'd be surprised. People are really helpful on Reddit, and that's really the ethos you want to follow on Reddit throughout everything that you do, is be helpful. And as long as you're being helpful, you're able to then um, drop recommendations that feel like real recommendations from someone who has been helping out with real advice and real suggestions and real posts, not some guy who's come out of left field with no history in not only that subreddit but on Reddit alone. But again, having a high karma account is one thing, but that karma has to be from the right kind of subreddits, right? Because mods aren't stupid. There are upvote for upvotes, karma farming subreddits where you just go and all sorts of nefarious things going on within these subreddits, and the mods can very easily see your history, and that's it. And at that point, you're cooked. So you definitely want to be building authority within relevant subreddits, not just starting off with a high karma account, because even at that point, it's not going to work for you, because that is just not the way to do it. And that's where people fail. They go out and spend hundreds of dollars on these high karma Reddit accounts and think that the previous history and the karma is enough for you to go and make a money post and wonder why you get deleted and banned, because they've gone and they've checked out the history. And not only have you had never had one post or discussion or a comment in that subreddit, you've never even spoke about this before until today. Up until today, you've been talking about, am I the a-hole subreddit, or just totally non-related meme subreddits or karma farming subreddits, and then you come into some high some subreddit like entrepreneur where you've got crazy mods in there. They're going to look at your history. They're not going to be happy with the 5,000 karma points, and they're going to want to make sure that you've posted in there before, even with 5,000 karma. Okay, on to the next element here. So um, at this stage, right, a simple spreadsheet will probably make things very, very straightforward and easy for you. Nothing fancy. So, community name in the columns, right? Community name, member count, what the posting rules summary are, content types that work, the different strictness of the moderator strictness for the rating. You come up with a rating for each subreddit, relevance score as well to your product. An example is here. Here's a good example. So, for example, startups, 1.2 million members. They've got a weekly promo thread. Stories and asks do well. Media moderation, 9 out of 10 relevance. Awesome. And the same thing with remote work. So that's the kind of information that you're going to want to hand. Okay, so at this stage, again, before you get the automation for AI to go out and do this for you and actually create this, for now, you do need to do this manually, or at least um, ask AI to do it for you, so that you're digging into it manually and you're not just letting the AI do all the research and just go into the subreddits and get this information without you ever seeing a thing. That disconnect tends to be the major problem. Like when people buy a tool and say, okay, how now I want to make this tool make me money, whatever it might be, some automation thing. Doesn't work like that. It's not about the tool, it's about applying a system using the tools. Okay. So you want to aim for 15 to 20 communities to start with, nothing less than that. Obviously, not going to be active in all of them at this stage, especially with only a handful of Reddit accounts, or maybe one or two, however many you might have. But you're going to want to have all of those communities mapped out. Some will be a perfect fit, some maybes, and you can cross them off entirely and then do some more deeper research later on. Okay. The point is making informed decisions on where you're posting before you post, and not guessing. Okay. So before we go on to the next module, which is module 3, here's an exercise. And it's probably not going to take more than 30 or 45 minutes total. Okay. So first, step 1, 5 minutes, list your customers' other problems. Like, what do they struggle with beyond your product category? Okay. Number 2, it should take longer than 10 minutes. Search Reddit for those problems, right? Note all the different subreddits that appear, follow the conversations, just spend a couple of minutes on that. Another 10 minutes for each subreddit that looks promising. Go ahead and check out the sidebar suggestions and follow those rabbit holes. But don't check out those sidebar suggestions until you're in a subreddit that looks spot on. Okay. And then this is probably the longest step, about 15 minutes or so, to create this spreadsheet, right? Fill in all 5 criteria that we covered for your top 15 communities, right? And once you've got your map, we're going to move on to module 3, the content pattern analysis. This is where you learn what actually works in each community.